You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly pop and geek culture show covering movies, TV, games, and comics. Now your hosts, Cody Pinnick, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that can't promise you that Taylor Swift might appear during the episode, but you'd have to stick around to find out if that's true or not.
And tell at least 5 of your Swiftie friends.
Yes. We're looking for that 400% bump.
The Swiftie bump.
Yeah.
We're looking for that bump, yes.
Yeah, I'm Cody.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Samantha.
And we have a special guest with us this week, back again, Jordan Taylor.
Hey, everybody. Yay.
Hey. Oh, is it Jordan Taylor or is it Jordan Taylor Swift?
Oh, you'll never know until the end, I guess.
We'll just have to, it'll be a surprise till the end.
Uh-huh.
Tell your friends. But so we have a great show for you this week. A bunch of news and things we're going to go over. But first, let's talk about some things we have been checking out.
Check it out!
We all did the dance that time.
It's a good dance.
Yeah. All right. So, some things we've been doing this week. Let's start with our guest, Jordan.
Cool.
Putting you on the spot first.
Yay. I don't know. Do you want art? Do you want books? Do you want both?
All of it. Give me all of it.
I just started a new book that is an anthology, which I didn't know it was an anthology when I picked it up. But the first story is there is, stuff falling from the sky, and there's this warning system that tells everybody, like, hey, asteroids, go for cover, etc. And it malfunctions, so people think that the world is ending, and all the stories are like, you have 12 hours, what would you do if you thought the world was ending?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different romance authors and stuff, and they all wrote a little story that takes place with different characters, but in the same time and universe. And stuff.
Interesting. What's it called?
It's called Even If the Sky Is Falling.
Okay.
It's like when that warning system in Hawaii broke and everybody thought they were going to die there for about 5 minutes.
Or that warning system that came over my cell phone earlier this week that woke me up.
Oh, no.
And I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
At least you didn't turn into a 5G zombie.
I did not turn into a 5G zombie. Yes.
That was a close call, though.
It was. I felt my skin itch there for a second, but, I thought about brains for a second.
Turns out you had ringworm.
Yeah, that's all it was. That's it. Yeah.
Just a usual day.
Just one of my normal days, Yeah. Well, that book sounds great. What is your favorite? How far are you into? What's your favorite short story so far?
I've through the first one, about halfway through the second one. I'm liking the second one a lot. Honestly, I found the book because the audiobook narrator, I really like her, and on the Libby app, you can just search for those people too.
Oh, interesting.
If you like a narrator, you can see more books they've read, and so that's how I found out about this book. So I'm on the story that her name is Sunila Nankani, and she's a really good audiobook reader, and she's doing the story that I'm in right now. So.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's good.
Very cool. So you mentioned art as well. You have art?
I do have art.
I say as though I don't know what the answer is.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
What is this art?
So you take this stuff called paint. So next Saturday, October 14th, there is a show opening at the Mansfield Art Center called The Crow Show, where all of the art is crow themed and it's juried. And I got into it for the second year in a row. And
Congratulations.
Thank you. Very excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, we went last year to see all the crow art and also the Mansfield Crow Man.
Yes. Mansfield's own cryptid.
Totally real, totally actual cryptid.
He was there. He threw pumpkins off the building. It was wild.
But no, the show itself was really, really cool last year. They had a lot of really good art and a lot of really good stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a great show.
Also, crows are cool.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah, apparently a murder of crows nests outside the art center every year, so they decided to make a festival of it when they come back. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, really awesome stuff.
If we wanted to talk about books more, we've been listening to an audiobook that's been pretty good. Oh my god, I blanked on the name.
Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Yes, The Invisible
I've
Life
heard
of
of that.
Addie LaRue. It's about a French girl from some past century, way in the past, hundreds of years in the past, who makes a deal with some sort of elder god type creature because she doesn't want to get married to some dude.
Sounds fair.
And of course the elder god like spins it in a way that he Twilight Zones her, basically. So no one can remember her after she's left there.
She wants to belong to no one.
Yeah, she wants to belong to no one. So the elder god makes it so no one can remember her after she's left their line of sight.
Huh.
So she's the silence?
Also, and
basically.
also she's immortal.
Wow.
So she lives through hundreds of years of life without being able to be remembered or make any sort of like lasting mark on the world.
She can't make any mark on the world.
Yeah, she can't write. She can't do art.
Say her name.
Yeah, she can't say her own name.
Oh, wow.
And it goes through her life throughout this time period and during the modern day. I don't want to get... Well,
This isn't on the book jacket.
That she meets a guy that suddenly can remember her and she can say her name to him, and it goes on from there. And it's very good, very interesting story.
That sounds really awesome. Yeah.
I'm going to put that on my list. Definitely not right now.
Narrator's
I'm not
really
typing.
good too.
Yeah, whoever reads it does a pretty good job too, and does a little twinge of French accent in her voice that sets the mood well.
Oh, very cool.
But yeah, we've really been enjoying listening to that. It's better than the one we listened to before, Ghost Eaters, which is about somebody invents a drug that makes it so you can see ghosts and ghosts can see you, and it turns into kind of like a way too on the nose addiction type story.
Yeah.
Grief and addiction and that whole cycle.
Yeah. And how grief can kind of become an addiction too. The only thing really good about it is there's some really great gross like monster ghost descriptions.
Nice.
But other than that, it kind of left me cold. Pun, I guess, intended.
You want to talk about your new favorite Exorcist?
My new favorite Exorcist. We watched the movie the other night. We watched The Pope's Exorcist.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was actually a lot of fun.
All right.
It's Russell Crowe is the Pope's Exorcist.
Okay.
And he's got a bad case of a nasty demon to go hunt down. And it's absolutely like a painfully generic possession story that rides... It is good specifically because Russell Crowe is good as the character. Like if it wasn't...
The whole thing's riding on him.
Yeah. If it wasn't him playing this like kind of... I don't know. How would you describe the character?
Kind of goofy.
Yeah, and he doesn't. He's not by the book. He doesn't follow all the rules. Kind of.
Like he's a loose cannon.
Yeah, he's
or
a loose
something.
cannon. That's exactly. He's a loose cannon, but he gets the job done. And also, the Pope thinks he's great. The other cardinals, not so much.
Yeah.
He has a great Italian accent.
Yeah, the whole time.
So we spent the rest of the night just... What were we saying? I don't remember.
I don't know, doing bad Italian accent. He rides a little scooter.
Nice.
Like a
that sounds
Vespa
great.
around.
Like a long jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It had no business being as entertaining as it was. 'Cause, like almost every scare in it, they crib from The Exorcist really bad. Like it really doesn't do anything like innovative or interesting, but
It's all on Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe's performance carries the whole movie.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's great. Speaking of movies, so last week I talked a little bit about rewatching Cannibal the Musical, right? So on a whim, I went and found the movie that I'm pretty sure Trey and Matt watched that gave them the inspiration to do Cannibal the Musical, called The Legend of Alfred Packer. It's a made-for-TV movie from 1980. And
Wow.
it's terrible. It's the acting in it is horrible. It doesn't star anyone that has gone on to do anything. It is like the most painfully generic Western movie. However, there are scenes and lines pulled directly from it in Cannibal the Musical.
Wow.
In this version, Swan is a reverend, just like the other ones. You have
Was he not in real life?
He wasn't in real life. No. There was one that was a young boy who just wanted to go and meet a nice young dame and do all this, which is in Cannibal the Musical. At one, and even to the point. Okay, so there are the evil trappers, right? And one of them, the trapper's name is Lotzenheiser, who apparently was a real guy. And in Cannibal the Musical, he's the one that they keep saying "nice hat" because he's wearing a skunk hat,
with googly eyes.
Well, they introduced Lotzenheiser in the Legend of Alfred Packer, and he's wearing a skunk skin hat.
Oh no!
That I'm pretty sure they probably watched it and while watching the film went, "Nice hat." At one point, someone wakes up screaming the name Ike over and over, which is something that happens in Cannibal the Musical for no reason whatsoever. And it was all referenced in this.
Huh.
It's wild. It's almost like watching Young Frankenstein and then the Basil Rathbone movie Son of Frankenstein, because it is like parallels. The parallels between the two are just so interesting. But yeah.
Well, that sounds fun.
It's pretty wild. And I mean, Alfred Packer ends up with that goofy looking weird goatee that Trey Parker gets in Cannibal. It's like, it's wild. It's wild.
It's the old quote, good artists copy, great artists steal.
Yes.
That's what they've done here.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I watched that for the first time. And again, terrible movie, but certainly worth a watch, especially if you've seen the far superior version that also has music.
I think I remember reading about that. They cribbed a lot of stuff from a movie, but I didn't know exactly how much.
It was it was very much. And I mean, a lot of their traveling and stuff was like down beat to beat, down to the
But like, how many musicals now are just something that already existed before, but they put a musical in it?
Right.
Like they were ahead of their time on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mean Girls the musical? No, you turn a made-from-TV movie into a musical. That's how it's done.
That's exactly.
Little Shop was a Roger Corman movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've actually wanted to go back and rewatch Little Shop. I've had the itch because I love that movie. And apparently there is a director's cut of it, which had a different ending.
Oh, yeah. It has the actual ending.
The real ending.
Does.
Yeah, it doesn't have the super happy ending.
No, everybody gets turned into plants at the end of the musical.
Yeah. They take a million clippings and sell them in stores, and it becomes
it's basically plant apocalypse.
Basically, yeah. I also watched the Toxic Avenger. I started at work and quickly realized I forgot how not safe for work this movie is. So I finished it at home.
Yeah, just any trauma movie in general, you probably shouldn't watch it.
Probably not. I was remembering all of the fun over the top gore scenes. Forgot about all of the boobs. The movie is front loaded.
It's
front loaded with boobs. Well, the whole thing takes place in a health club.
Yeah.
I mean, the original name of the movie was Health Club Horror. Like, that's why he's never called the Toxic Avenger within that first movie. He's just called the Monster Hero because it was supposed to be just a horror movie set at a health club.
There's another schlocky horror movie set at a health club.
Oh, Death Spa.
Yeah, Death Spa. Yeah, that's a good one.
Did we see that at a bad movie night?
We did. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, I think I watched it just by itself.
I'm sorry.
But, so Toxic Avenger still holds... I mean... It doesn't hold up, but it still kind of holds up if you're going into it going, okay, this is a bad film.
You have to remember with any movie that has a bunch of boobs in it, you have to put yourself in the mind that they didn't have the internet at the time. Uh-huh. This is the only way a lot of people could see a boob.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. And it sells.
Yeah.
Sex and gore sells. And Lloyd Kaufman, God bless him. He's the number one thing is sell your stuff.
Always be selling.
Always be selling. Yes. But last thing, Jordan and I actually did this last weekend. We went to our first ever wrestling show.
I was gonna ask
We
about
did.
that.
Yes. So do you want to talk a little bit about our wrestling time, Jordan?
It was fun. We went down to Ashland, Kentucky to see the FTC. It turned out to be sort of their student show.
Yeah, it ended up being in conjunction with their wrestling school down there.
Mm-hmm. So some of them were really good. There was a high schooler that definitely has some potential. He had a whole bunch of fans in the audience.
Oh, that kid definitely did
the Bolt.
The Bolt, yeah,
Yes.
the Bolt. He was definitely like a gymnast or something that was getting into it because he was doing full on backflips and doing
Oh yeah, he
flying off the rope and everything.
He
was
tight-roped walked across the top of the ropes at some point.
Yeah,
and it was
did
very
a
cool.
really good job.
Did you find out if FTC stands for Federal Tussling Committee?
I wish it did. No, it.
I hope that it does. I didn't ask anybody.
I think it's a failure to comply, I think is what it's called. But I do like the Federal Tussling Commission.
Commission.
Yeah, I like that one. But no, we saw a bunch of really good. The heels, I think, were some of the best.
Oh yeah, they were fun.
Yeah. A couple of guys that came out that were like, oh, larger than life. I'm the best and you're the worst. And some of them could talk on the mic. Some of them couldn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then your friend Joe was the main event.
Joe was the main event. Turns out Joe is actually the owner of FTC as well. And not just in story, but in actuality. And he had a company versus career match as the highlight of the night, where if Jock Sampson, the wrestling cowboy, beat him in the ring, he would get Joe's company. He would gain control of FTC. And Joe took a beating for a good while.
He did, yeah.
He really,
It was a cage match.
It was
wild.
their first cage match, from what I understand. He said he was a little nervous about it because they'd never done a cage match before. Mm-hmm. And but
I
Joe,
would assume it's a lot like a regular match, except there's a cage around you.
there is, but I mean the cage is held up with cable straps and those
zip ties.
Nylon straps that you would put on your truck or
on a
whatever.
truck strap,
Yeah. But Joe turned around, he won it, and fired Jock Sampson.
Yep. So thankfully he retained control.
He
of his
retained
company.
control of his company. Mm-hmm. But I actually want to try to get Joe on the show for an
that'd be
episode
rad,
or something.
yeah.
Talk about wrestling with him and stuff like that. It was
Get a real wrestleman on the show.
yeah, but no, it was kind of funny. We it was in this gym that was next door to a church, and one of the wrestlers was his gimmick was he was the apostle. So he came out in a black shirt, black pants,
Priest
collar on his black sleeveless shirt. Well, as it turns out, he was the reverend of the church next door who was getting into wrestling.
Nice.
It was hilarious. He was good.
He actually did a really nice job as well. Yeah.
I feel like cutting a promo is a lot like giving a
sermon a little bit.
Yeah. I can see the skill overlap there.
Yeah, absolutely. So could I. But no, they had a couple of lady wrestlers. Sarah Bubbles versus Lucy
name.
Lovelace, I think was her name, something like that.
Yeah, Sarah Bubbles was great. The kids loved her.
The kids loved Sarah Bubbles. She was basically JoJo Siwa, the wrestler.
Yep.
She had the side pony and everything.
Nice.
Yep, she came out with bubble guns.
Bubble guns.
Filled the air with bubbles. It was great.
Yep. We had was it the Masters of Seduction versus the Lifeguards?
Yeah.
And a tag match.
Good.
And at one point that one of the lifeguards was getting beat up so bad, so the other lifeguard grabbed one of those floaty inflatable safety things, threw it out to him, and pulled him halfway from the middle of the ring over to the side to tag him out.
It was great.
It was a good gimmick. It was a really good gimmick. But overall, it was a really fun,
yeah, if it wasn't a 3-hour drive, I would say
I would do it
go
again.
more often.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit of a haul, but
yeah,
it was very cool.
It was a decent turnout.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the school, the wrestling school, so it wasn't a huge crowd, but it was a really good sized crowd, and a lot of people were there having a great time. Talking with Joe, he said their normal shows, they usually pull about 400 to 500 people.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And, that's right on the... So they were in Ashland, Kentucky. They normally wrestle in Ironton, Ohio, which is right across the river. I mean, this is all right on the Ohio River. And, I mean, for a smaller town like Ironton, that's, 400, 500 people is...
That's the whole town.
That's a really good turnout. No, I mean, it's a really good turnout. But no, we had a great time. We found a taco place called Suplex Tacos.
It's thematically appropriate
Yeah,
and also
very
delicious. Yeah.
And and we also stopped in Portsmouth and saw a giant mural down there.
Yeah, I got involved with the Mansfield mural group because of a documentary I saw about the Portsmouth murals that they showed at the Renaissance Theater. So we got to stop and see those in real life. And
it's like a mile long or something like that.
Wow.
It was several city blocks. So it's probably at least half a mile.
At least a half mile,
not
yeah.
a whole mile, yeah.
It was painted on the back of a flood wall, is that right? Something like that?
Yep, it's a flood wall because they're right there on the river.
Oh, it's like they have one at Point Pleasant.
Yep.
Mothman Town. They have a big long one.
We almost went to Point Pleasant. We were down in that area. We were
about an hour away.
About an hour away from Point Pleasant.
It's worth it. It's a cool little town.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. We ended up driving to, we were actually in West Virginia briefly. We stood.
Yeah.
We went to a park right on the point. So we were standing in West Virginia on the river looking at Ohio on one side and Kentucky on the other.
Nice.
It was pretty cool.
It was neat.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
I always forget that Hillbilly Hot Dogs is there when we go to Mothman. I want to try that place. They have crazy hot dogs.
Yeah, they were on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Nice.
Yeah, it sounds like a place that would be on Triple D.
It's a hot dog place inside of a bus. Of course it would be on Triple D.
Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody, I'm Guy Fieri. It's a hot dog on a bus.
Pretty much. That's it. You saw the episode right there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Don't put eggs on it, man. I hate eggs.
He does hate eggs.
He does hate eggs. We've watched enough Triple D. It's weird. We don't have cable.
Nope.
But whenever we're in hotels, it's almost a tradition now. The TV is locked onto the Food Network.
And somehow it's always
on. It's always on.
I feel like a lot of times we end up watching ghost shows when we're in a hotel room.
Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, like Ghost Adventures or the other one. What's the other one called with taps?
The one without Zach Baggins?
Yeah, the one that doesn't have...
Does that even exist anymore?
I don't know. Probably not. We need to all make a trip to Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
sometime. That'd be fun.
That would be great. Nerd Overload goes and visits the Mothman Museum. Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't been to the museum itself since the first time we went. Because there's during the festival, don't go to the museum then because you're going to wait in line all the way around the block. Make a separate trip for the museum.
Yeah, I've been there, but I've never been inside the museum. I've just seen the statue and the bridge and stuff. And
it's a cute town.
It's actually really grown in the last few years. There's a ton of little shops now.
Yeah,
on the main street.
Oh, fantastic!
That's awesome.
Yeah. Did we talk about the fest when we went
I don't think you did. No,
we did go to the Mothman Festival last month when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It was very nice. We went on Sunday, so it was the last day. And it was also a little bit drizzly. It wasn't full on raining. It was like a mist.
Mm-hmm.
So the crowds were manageable.
Nice.
Which is better than the last time we went, and it was absolutely nuts.
90 degrees and just wall to wall people.
Yeah. So this time was a little easier to deal with. But there's tons of fun vendors with fun Mothman encrypted stuff to buy. I had a delicious smoked bologna and hot mustard sandwich.
Ooh, nice. That does sound good.
Yeah, it was really good. I was looking everywhere for a pepperoni roll because that's what you eat in West Virginia. But nobody had them.
Nobody had them, really?
You would think they'd have them right there.
All over the place.
I didn't realize that was a West Virginia thing.
Yep. Pepperoni rolls and Mountain Dew.
Glad it was a good time.
Yeah. We saw the statue. Did the stuff you do.
Yeah. All right, hey, let's take a break, and when we come back, we will get into some news.
The marketing department at WZMO suggested I do a new cutting-edge promo for long play. Short, quick, concise, to the point. Here goes. You're invited to tune in to Long Play, Friday night at 11, Saturday afternoon at 3. Great music, fantastic host, often referred to as the Casey Kasem of Marion. Full albums, front to back, here on WZMO. Whew, did it. Finished before I got cut off.
Hey, we're back from the break. Let's get into some news.
Oh, I think Taylor Swift here?
She might be.
No. No, never mind.
She doesn't want to. She's being a little shy today. Doesn't want to get on the mic.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is? Okay. All right. So hey, let's talk about some things. First up, I want to talk about this Animal Crossing Legos.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
All they showed was minifigures.
Yeah.
Of several, like a lot of the characters.
And not just all the named, like, popular. I mean, they were all kind of the popular characters.
But there's just villagers.
But there are some that are just villagers.
Yeah, it's not all, like, the people who do things for you. Yeah. Although the Isabel minifig looked great.
Yes.
Some of the other ones are kind of...
Some of them are a little rough.
A little weird looking. I think Tom Nook looks a little weird.
Yeah, well, Tom Nook's going to look a little weird anyway.
Yeah, like the proportions are not the same because they just went traditional minifigure with this one.
With molded head, yeah. Which I'm actually happy with. I think I like that idea a little more than the Mario Lego sets where they have like the weird...
The boxy...
The boxy bodies. I don't think
Yeah.
that would work with the Animal Crossing sets. But I'm excited to see what they do with those sets. See what kind of sets they make. There's got to be a Nook's store, right?
Yeah.
The museum.
Maybe a museum, yeah.
Oh, there's so many cool things they could do with the museum set, I feel like.
Yeah, they could probably do all 3 wings of the museum and the little coffee shop.
They could do the coffee shop. Well, anything that you could do with a regular town set, you could do with Animal Crossing. True. And for that matter, if you want to make your giant Animal Crossing town and can't make the specific buildings, just buy regular town buildings. Yeah. It'll work.
A little Brewster's would be really cute.
Oh, that would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the clothing store would be cute.
Mm-hmm.
They could actually probably even expand into that the expansion pack where you do like, I designed a hotel.
Oh, here's the island
doctor's
set.
office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
They could do like they did with the Mario Legos and have that set that like isn't any specific thing. It's a bunch of parts to make your own. So they could do that with Animal Crossing, like a house.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just hope that this announcement isn't just for blind bag figs.
Oh, that would be a huge disappointment.
It would.
A waste of the franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, so everybody loves a different Animal Crossing character. Like, everybody has their favorite villager. How are they going to make everybody happy? Are they going to create 400 some odd different villagers for you to collect?
I hope they have an octopus one.
The octopus one would be good.
Characters.
Yeah. Octavian would be good.
Yeah.
Or Zucker or whatever.
Maybe they'll just pick one of each of the... Like how there's a
types.
bunny and there's a bear and whatever. Like they'll just pick the most popular.
They'll have to put Raymond, the cat with the heterochromia.
I was shocked that Raymond wasn't part of the initial
Well,
reveal.
Marshall was there, though, and everybody loves that little squirrel. That little grumpy squirrel for some reason. But no, I recognize the couple of villagers that they have in there. They have the unicorn. What's his name? I'm not sure what his name is.
I like the bunny.
The bunny's good. Yeah. But no, it looks like it's going to be a fun set.
Was Captain in there?
I think Captain might have been in there. Yeah.
I want Captain's boat. I would buy that.
That would be cool. Yeah. Yep. Like Captain's boat with like a little like island that you go to and play with it or whatever. That would be neat. So yeah, we have that. What other things do we want to talk about?
We have a handful of Pokemon stuff.
We do actually. That's true.
A weirdly large amount of like small Pokemon stories.
Yeah, it's like a lot of little stuff. Yeah.
The biggest one was that live action show that they're doing in Japan. That's not a live action Pokemon in the way you would think.
No.
Yeah,
it's an interesting twist on this one.
It's about a girl who starts a new job and she's also obsessed with the original Pokemon. Like Game Boy games.
Yeah.
and it kind of compares her life with playing through that game and the way she sees things through her Pokemon.
Like hyperfixation kind of thing.
Yeah, hyperfixation. It's like Great Attorney Woo, if you've ever watched that series, except instead of whales, it's Pokemon.
Sounds interesting.
Attorney Woo is a great show, by the way. It's a Korean legal drama about a girl who has autism and is a lawyer.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. You know what? Yes, I have heard of that because so The Good Doctor was based on a Korean show about a autistic person who was a doctor, and they tried to spin off the American Good Doctor with The Good Lawyer. And it was
Attorney Woo.
It was Attorney Woo Americanized, and they're using it as a spin-off for this. Yeah, I have heard of that. It actually also reminds me of, because everything goes back to Power Rangers eventually, there is a Japanese show called Tokusatsu Ga Ga Ga, and it's about a girl who is trying to make it through life, but is obsessed with this Power Rangers-esque TV show, but is like an adult. And you have like, oh, you're an adult who enjoys this stuff, and it's very...
There's a couple Japanese shows. They did one for Final Fantasy either 11 or 14, one of the online ones, about a father and son connecting through playing the game.
And that's, you know what, that kind of media is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a different way to look at adapting a game franchise like that into a show.
Yeah, you don't always have to have the literal adaptation for things. You can have it be a fictional bit of media within a other setting and have it be around it. And that is cool. It's cool. So the other Pokemon thing, and you guys can tell me a little more about this one as well. There is something going on at the Van Gogh Museum.
Yeah, the Van Gogh Museum had special Pokemon merchandise and a Van Gogh Pokemon card that was available for their special exhibit they were doing or something like that. And people went absolutely nuts there. Yeah. Like I showed you guys a video of the crowds just going wild for this Pokemon merch that they were probably going to eBay for exorbitant amounts of money.
Oh, for sure.
But apparently the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, I think it's in Amsterdam, was not prepared for this situation, which they really should have been. It's Pokemon.
Yeah. I heard a thing where you were able to order prints, like the Van Gogh prints, online through the Pokemon Company, and you would get the card with any purchase.
Which is a very cute Van Gogh Pikachu.
It is, yeah. It's based off of the Man in the Gray Hat, one of his paintings. Is that, Jordan, you're a Van Gogh.
Yeah.
You do art.
I do art, therefore know all things about art.
Well, you know Van Gogh as well.
It's definitely based on one of his self-portraits. I forget the name of the painting.
Yeah. But apparently both the Van Gogh merchandise and the Pikachu were sold out within like a minute or two of it opening online.
These people got to learn by this point that people are going to go nuts for anything with Pokemon on it, and especially
crossover.
Especially
Pokemon
a
stuff.
card. In card game stuff, people go nuts.
Oh, sure.
That Disney card game that just came out, that they can't keep it in stock. They're already like...
I've heard that card game's actually pretty good as well.
I'd like to try it.
Yeah.
Well, plus the Pokemon stuff is so cute. Like they did the one that was the Pikachu. They did one of Van Gogh's sunflowers with I forget the name of that
Sunflora.
Pokemon. Sunflora, yeah. Which basically is a sunflower, but he's stuffed in there, and that one was pretty adorable.
He's got a goofy looking face on him.
Yeah. He's got a goofy face. But yeah, they did such a nice job, like making the merch.
Yeah, it's really great merch.
Yeah. And they mimicked his style just enough to make it looks right.
Oh yeah.
Well, except Pikachu had both ears. Kind of missed the mark on that one a little bit. But All right, next up. Okay, so we actually have a couple of movie trailers we could talk about. First up is Silent Night, which is a holiday themed.
It's John Woo's Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's John Woo's Christmas movie, but the twist is there is no dialogue.
A guy is. What was the plot?
Well, it looked as though, and I mean, without, I'm just guessing at it. It looks like 1 year before Christmas, gang activity happens and a guy is injured and his young son is killed. So 1 year later, around Christmas the following year, the guy takes bloody revenge. It's a very action bloody movie, but one of the plot points is the guy gets shot in the neck and has his voice box taken out. So there is a reason why he also cannot speak. It's not just that there's no dialogue in the movie. Like, there is an in-universe reason for it, it looks like. But I think it's a really interesting idea to have an action movie where there is just no dialogue. It's all show, not tell.
Nobody goes to a John Woo movie for the dialogue, so why not take it out?
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah. John Woo is a great director. Dialogue's not his bag. But it looks really interesting. It stars Andrew Kinnaman, I think his name is. He was in the RoboCop reboot, and he was also Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad movies.
Which one?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
He's one of the few that crossed.
Yeah, he was the main. He was like the main government liaison in the first one, and he fights John Cena and is taken out relatively early in the second one.
Wasn't there just a movie that came out last year that was called Violent Night? Which was
where Santa Claus has to save a family from
home invaders
from a home invasion.
Yeah. David Harbour played.
We were planned on watching it, never did.
We never did, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe this year.
Perhaps.
I can't remember if it's supposed to be good or not. I mean, I'm sure it's fine.
It looked kind of funny.
Yeah.
It looked funny, but yeah. So we have that, and we just kind of let the trailers roll while we were kind of gathering our news, and came across a new kind of... I don't know if it's supernatural or like horror or what it's going to be, but like thriller or I don't know. But it's from A24, and they make good stuff. And it's called Dream Scenario with everyone's favorite actor, Nicolas Cage.
the world's greatest actor, Nick Cage.
Mm-hmm.
He plays a bald dude who keeps showing up in people's dreams,
like
for
the most
some reason.
unassuming man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just shows up in people's dreams.
Well, it reminds me of that meme image that have you seen this man? And it's just like an unassuming picture of a man. Like, have you seen this man in your dreams?
Yeah.
Like, I think it was like creepypasta too, maybe. But maybe that's what this is based on.
It might be what it's based on, yeah.
If not, it was clearly like inspired by it, maybe.
Sure. But yeah, he just, and he's not... Nicolas Cage is not doing anything to cause him to show up in people's dreams, at least from what we could tell from the trailers. It's just a phenomenon that's happening, and he kind of becomes becomes kind of famous for it, and then the dream Cage starts attacking people in their dreams, and not like killing them or whatever. It just starts doing not cool stuff in their dreams.
Yeah, and
they're kind of taking it out on real life Cage, I guess. It seems interesting.
Yeah, I'd watch this movie. It was a good concept.
Yeah, a real thinker. I don't know.
He's gonna bring that pig energy.
I hope so, because that is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah, people give him a lot of crap for taking a million and one roles, and they go, "Oh well, it's Nicolas Cage. It's going to be kind of hacky, jokey." Pig was great. And the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent was also...
I need to watch that.
Also very good.
I even liked him in Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland was fine.
It had its faults and its extremely low budget, but like...
I think it's going to be just as enjoyable, if not more so, than the actual Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Oh, I think it'll be better than Five Nights at Freddy's. And Nick Cage really, like, he made the character he was playing in that movie was so odd that it made it interesting.
Well, it's like he's finally found his niche of like, I play these weirdos in films, and he does a good job when that's who he is. Like,
his absolute need to always take appropriate breaks during Willy's Wonderland was so funny.
Very, very good.
And his almost sexual like attraction to pinball.
He loved that pinball machine. Yeah.
But speaking of Five Nights at Freddy's...
Five Nights at Freddy's, yeah. There's a trailer for that with Josh Hutcherson.
Oh, that's who that was.
That's who that was.
Kind of mumbling his way through the security guard role.
Yeah, his face looked familiar. I totally did not place him when we were watching.
Yeah, well, you probably didn't recognize him because he didn't paint himself up like a rock or a cake.
No, I wouldn't know him from that.
Oh, you wouldn't know him from the Hunger Games?
No.
Okay, that's what he was. That was his Peeta's gimmick in the Hunger Games, was he painted himself like a rock because he was good at designing cakes.
Yeah, because that skill set carries over.
I've made so many cakes that look just like a rock. I cannot even.
But yeah, the Five Nights at Freddy's, I mean, it looks cool.
The puppets they built for the animatronics are great. They're like dead on how they look in the games. Like they couldn't have did a better job. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this movie is going to be an absolute garbage.
I kind of am feeling it a little bit, yeah.
Based on the fact, one, that it's releasing in theaters and on Peacock at the same time, and two, it's been in like development hell forever because Scott Cawthon, the guy that created the games, has been really precious about every script that goes by.
He really kind of has.
And he's got his nose too deep into it, and he's not a guy that makes movies.
Yeah.
He's a guy that made an interesting game and got lucky.
And then continued to make games based off that one interesting game.
Yeah.
To diminishing of returns,
yeah.
I feel. I wouldn't be surprised if Willy's Wonderland was a failed Five Nights script.
There are more than one movie that got released that was a failed Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, was that? Oh, you know what? The Banana Splits.
I'm pretty sure that was.
Yeah, because that had a very Five Nights.
And like The Hug, I think, is one of them.
The Hug, sure.
And then like Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah.
That's what a pain he was. That's how precious he was about the script for this movie, that there was at least 3 other scripts that were good enough to get made.
Yeah.
That they didn't use.
He was so precious with it that he is now not the forefather of this type of movie. He's now and also ran with them.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't beat he wasn't the first one to make a movie about a killer mascot or whatever. Animatronic or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling it's not going to be very good, but it's going to make $1 billion.
And there's several books that he had his hands in based on the lore of the game, and I've heard nothing good about any of those.
The lore of the game.
Yeah.
It's killer animatronics.
Yeah, and the lore is not very good.
It's not. It's like once you start putting thought into it for more than 5 seconds, like, maybe it was better as just a game.
That he told it in kind of a mystery box, like J.J. Abrams' mystery box kind of way. And once you've opened that box, it's like, that's lame. That's not clever.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. Last thing here, the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic was supposedly going to be getting a reboot or a remake.
Yeah, a big time remaster.
Remaster, that's the term.
Is it?
Yeah, remaster. I can't remember
remaster is when you just like up-res the graphics.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So this was, I guess, technically a remake.
Yeah.
Technically a remake. Okay. But, well, anyway, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Sony has since deleted the video on YouTube of the reveal of the game.
And all the tweets based on talking about the reveal of the game. So it's not going to happen.
Suspicious,
Yeah, which is a shame because the original game is, like, very good. Mm-hmm. It's one of the, like, top 3 best Star Wars games they ever did.
Yeah, I mean, the number 1 was, of course, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer.
Oh, see, Star Wars Dark Forces is my favorite Star Wars game. But it doesn't let you hold 2 Nintendo 64 controllers.
Exactly.
As if they were Pod Racer engines.
Yeah.
So it does have that against it.
I know I said now this is pod racing when I played it. And the remake of that is actually a lot of fun because it's on the Switch and you can use both Joy-Cons.
Oh, nice.
As the reins, cool. Essentially. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's kind of a shame that KOTOR's not going to be looking like it's not going to be a thing.
It was going to be a big, good exclusive for Sony to have.
Yeah.
But it's gone the way of like that Vampire the Masquerade game.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Or that System Shock 3.
Uh-huh.
that they just kind of disappear into the aether.
Yep.
And the way that every video game studio on the face of the earth has been having massive layoffs lately.
Yeah, that's a whole...
And it's not surprising that these games are just disappearing.
It's a shame that they're disappearing and everything, but eventually these layoffs and whatnot will lead to people who are very talented making spiritual sequels and successors and things like that. I really feel. I mean, it's tough. You never want to see people lose their job, but
it's like, did they like throw a bunch of money at video games during COVID? Did they think,
yes.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
And then they're like, this is gonna last forever.
Yeah,
of course
that's exactly what they did. I mean, that's why we're getting so many farming simulations and like, Fae Farm and whatever else, because all these games take about 3 years in development. And we were in COVID lockdown times, and Animal Crossing hit really hard. So everybody else was like, well, let's people want this.
People wanted to play those games a lot more then than they do now, too.
Yeah. Yeah, now that we are able to leave our house.
Yeah, now that you can have a garden. Well, I guess you could have a garden outside before, but
sure.
Still, now that you can leave your house easily, it's not as appealing to... I don't know, build a Animal Crossing bridge.
Yeah. Oh, that game's still fun, though. Still enjoy it, yeah.
I'm still a fan, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we have a little bit of time here left. So, GalaxyCon Columbus, which used to be Wizard World Con Columbus, which used to be Mid-Ohio Con. It's weird that
if you go way back...
I was at the last Mid-Ohio Con. That's the one that my buddy Ron and I went to years ago. First con I went to was a Mid-Ohio Con. But GalaxyCon has released their list of celebrities and other whatnot that will be appearing. And we thought we'd take a minute and kind of read through them a little bit, kind of see who all's gonna be there.
It's crazy stacked. Like, I've never seen a con with this many good guests at it.
It's kind of wild. Yeah, let me pull up the list here so that we...
It's gonna be so crowded.
Oh my gosh,
it's gonna be a nightmare. But if they want to send us some press passes, they could do that.
I mean, we'll see what we could do, All right, so, I mean, we're not going to read through the entire list because that would just be us reading a bunch of names, but instead, we're going to read a bunch of names.
Oh, man, Paula Abdul is going to be
Paula
there?
Abdul is going to be there. The question is, will someone show up dressed as MC Scat Cat?
I thought you were just going to say, will MC Scat Cat be there?
Costumes are high quality enough. Someone will be there as MC Scat Cat and get their picture taken with Paula Abdul.
Is he a VTuber? Is MC Scat Cat a VTuber?
I mean, technically, he might be. So we have some of the mainstays, like Shatner's going to be there. He's at a lot of these days. We have, it's a lot of, like, groupings of, like, media. So, like, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio from the...
From She-Hulk.
From everyone's favorite She-Hulk. Daredevil from She-Hulk.
Yeah.
They're going to be there. Evangeline Lilly from the... She was the Wasp. She was in Marvel movies. Let's see. What else do we have? Some cool folks.
No Ant-Man. Can you imagine if Paul Rudd was at a convention?
Someday...
Someday he will.
Someday he will. But yeah, that would be pretty wild.
Scott Patterson, one of the Gilmore Girls, is going to be there. The boy Gilmore Girls.
The Gilmore Boy.
The Gilmore Boy? Okay. Yeah. Cool. Right on. We can go meet everyone's favorite surly man, Joel McHale.
I feel like he would be mean to you.
I think he would. I kind of think he would.
Like when you get a caricature drawn and they just like accentuate your worst feature, Joel McHale would just be like, "Oh, your face."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Would he actually be mean to you, or would you be disappointed if he wasn't mean to you?
Joel McHale seems like... I don't want to say he seems like Chevy Chase, because Chevy Chase is a real horse's rear end from what I hear, but...
Allegedly.
No. No, we don't have to say that for Chevy Chase.
All right, fair.
No, it's well documented. But Joel McHale gives me those similar vibes, I guess. I don't know. Speaking of Gilmore Girls, Sean Gunn is also going to be there, who was Kraglin in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was on Gilmore Girls.
He was.
Yeah. I know things
Not
about the
questioning
Gilmores
you.
and yes.
Michael Rooker, though, also.
Michael Rooker, yes.
Yeah, from Galaxy. Nope, not Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, I wish he was in Galaxy Quest. That'd be great.
Guardians of the Galaxy Quest.
There we go.
That one.
He is at every con, but is a whole lot of fun at every con.
He's a delight. Yeah.
Yeah.
We sat and watched a panel of his years ago. I think it was at a Cleveland con, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. There's a gaggle of Star Trek folk as per usual. A lot of next gen this year.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Walter Koenig, who you should see before he dies. His own words.
Yes.
His own words, not mine.
No, yes, that was his own words in one of his own promos. Come see me before I die. We have everyone's favorite Stephen Amell from The Arrow.
Yeah, everybody loves working with him.
Oh, yeah. He sure does love supporting the writers and actors guilds. Although he has told my favorite story about being a celebrity at cons. Said he said he makes more money going to cons than he ever did doing Arrow. It's the only place he knows where he can walk into a con and walk out with trash bags full of 20s.
Wow.
Like that's how he doesn't need to work again because he just does the con circuit.
Will they have to keep him and Grant Gustin? What's his last name?
Grant Gustin.
Like, will they not want to be around each other? I wonder.
Oh, for the right price, they'll want to be around each other. Let's see. We have a few more folks here. Jeffrey Combs, Reanimator.
Yes, from my favorite film, Reanimator. Also, Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, he was also the Question in the Justice League animated show, which I think was one of my favorite characters on that show.
Yeah. Also,
Harvey Guillen.
Yeah, Harvey Guillen. He's also Nightwing on Harley Quinn.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize he was Nightwing.
Yeah, Guillermo, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Harvey, how do you say his last name?
Guillen, okay, yeah. Let's see.
He seems like such a good dude. Like, if you follow him on the social medias or on, like, the What We Do in the Shadows behind the scenes TikTok, like, he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah. Oh, we have some of the Boy Meets World characters. I mean, actors portraying the characters.
Everybody but the boy.
Everybody but the boy. It's the Boy Meets World minus boy. A couple more highlights because we're getting close on time. Steve from Blue's Clues, famously not dead.
The real Steve.
And will be there.
The Prime Steve.
Steve Prime. I think they're still working on that movie as well, where all of the Steves are together in one big 2-hour Blue's Clue. Austin St. John, who cares? Listen, I could say that because I'm a Power Rangers fan and he is a criminal.
He can't leave the country legally. And that's not allegedly. Yeah. Also real thing. He got in trouble for some what were the PP loans?
Yeah, some
PP loans.
Some PP loans. We're leaving it right with that.
That's what they're called.
As far as voice actors go, Tara Strong, who's always great. Peter Cullen, so you can meet Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Christina
V. Yeah, she's done a million things.
All of them great. The Invaders Zim crew. You got the creator, Jonan Vasquez, who I've never seen appear at any sort of con anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does them in California.
I'm sure somewhere, yeah.
But I've never seen him anywhere near here. And also Richard Horvitz, who is Zim.
I've met him. He's great. Very nice guy.
And
Ricky Simmons.
Who is Gurr and also a good comic artist.
Yep. We have a few. They actually have comic creators showing up to this thing, which is great. Dan Parent, if you love Archie.
Yeah, he could draw you an Archie guy.
Yep.
Draw you your favorite Riverdale character, like in the way they're supposed to look.
Yes. Oh, what if you gave him like a screenshot of like a bad scene from the Riverdale live action and said, "Can you draw this with the Riverdale people in that style?" That would actually be kind of cool.
That'd be rad.
That would actually be kind of cool.
I want him to draw me a picture of Hiram Lodge and Archie fist fighting.
Boxing?
Yeah, but
Yes.
but in the Archie, style.
Yes. Let's see. We have Ron Mars, and I actually also thought I had seen, Daryl Banks. Daryl Banks is actually a local guy. He's from Columbus. So Ron Mars is a comic writer. He's been a comic writer forever. Their big claim to fame, at least in this sense, with the two of them together, is Green Lantern. They created Kyle Rayner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the first 100 or so issues after the death of Hal Jordan and the introduction of Kyle Rayner, it was them. It was just that team.
Cool.
Yeah.
I always want Babs Tarr to be at one of these.
That would be awesome. That would be very cool. I would like to meet Babs Tarr as well.
but
She
she's
seems kind
not.
of rad. Tony Isabella will be there in theory. I still have never met him. He is like the Sasquatch.
His name is so familiar. What did he do?
Well, he did Black Lightning.
Okay.
And he's also that story where every time I go to a convention and walk past Tony Isabella's booth, he's not there. Like, I've never seen him at his own booth ever in the, almost 20 some odd years of going to cons.
Man, it's too bad the Funky Winkerbean guy's not going to be there to be sad.
Yeah, right.
That was another one of your con stories.
That was another one of my con stories. Yeah.
Crankshaft is also, he does that
He does
one.
Crankshaft as well. Okay, and we have some pro wrestlers here as well, because there's always got to be pro wrestlers. I'm actually legitimately excited to see Mick Foley. The more I get into like the history of professional wrestling, he just seems like a solid guy.
Mm-hmm. He does seem like a nice dude
Very well spoken, very like
in a world of questionable personalities.
Speaking of questionable people, Ric Flair.
Woo!
Will Mick Foley bring Mr. Sacco?
I hope so. Yes, but only if he's dressed as Mankind and not his other characters, Cactus Jack or Dude Love.
Dude.
Yeah. He was his own stable of wrestlers called the Faces of Foley. Yeah, there was a 30-man or 40-man tag match where he came in as Mankind, was knocked out, left, came back as Dude Love, got in the ring, got knocked out, and then came back as Cactus Jack, got knocked out.
Oh, you know those Wrestling Empire streams that Pat Gill from Polygon does?
Yeah.
Did you see the finale of them?
I did.
Oh my god, it was wild.
Oh, it was great.
He got like every character
they'd
ever created in the game and had them all fight at the same time.
It was unreal.
While Comsussor Todd from Evangelion played in the background. And the ring was full of burning wheelchairs.
Wheelchairs and bombs matches. Yes. Yeah, it was pretty wild. But yeah, Ric Flair, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh. That guy freaks me out.
Samantha, we have your favorite.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Your
My
favorite
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, your favorite wrestler who's also a G.I. Joe.
All right. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the week. So we should go ahead and wrap things up. You have been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com. You can also check us out on various social medias, such as Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, and Patreon at Nerd Overload Now.
You can email us at staff@nerdoverload.com.
And you can also give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline. The number is 419-561-5556. Leave us a message and we'll play it on the show.
That's right. You can also find us on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. And finally, I'd like to thank our special guest, Jordan Taylor,
Thanks
for being here.
having me.
It was a great time. Thank you for filling in.
Yay, you're welcome.
I'd also like to thank Parker, future guest of the show, for manning the Facebook page for us. And finally, David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Peace out.